All right, we are live. We are live. We are live. Hey Amit, how you doing? So I'm totally noob for streaming, so I don't know how I'm going to do today, but I need a support from you guys. I'll be having some weird setup. I may get cut off in between, or maybe something may go wrong because I'm doing for the first time. I'm not familiar with the softwares which I'm using, so I need a support from your side if I do something, up and down. So yeah, let's wait for some more time and then let's get into that, how we can build such animations using custom painter in Flutter. Yeah, so let's wait for some more time, and I guess we will have more audience so that we can start building this amazing stuff in a Flutter. So for those who join now, I'm totally noob for live streaming. So you may see some weird setup, or you may hear some more background noise because the setup is not pretty good. But we will get better uh, by streaming one, like every stream we will get better. So yeah, need some support from you guys, some more understanding. Yeah, and then yeah, we will have some cool setup soon. I want to have set up kind of, a super declarative is having. If you don't know who is he, you can go ahead and check it out. Who is super declarative? He's having a channel for Flutter, and yeah, he is an inspiration to me. So yeah, I follow him a lot. So I hope I am audible. Amit, can you just give a feedback that I'm audible and everything on the screen is going great? I just need a feedback from you guys so that we can go ahead and start coding this. Okay. Are we good to go? I am audible. Cool. Thanks, Mohammed. Okay, so are you guys excited? Let's go ahead and build this. What do you think? Are we good to go? So you may able to hear some background noise. My Mac does a sound a lot, like when I go live, or when my emulator starts at that specific time, the fan will be like making so much of noise. So you guys might be hearing that fan noise. So I'm sorry for that. But yeah, as I said, we will be getting better every stream. So this is my first time. I may know I may don't have any good lights on my face. Sometimes if I come near, I may got cut off. My face will get cut off. So sorry for that. And yeah, one more thing, I don't have a power backup. So if power goes, the stream will end. So I'm really sorry for that. But yeah, we will get better with every stream. So we have 7 viewers now, and I guess we can build this and welcome you all for the very first stream. And we are going to make a Pac-Man animation in Flutter. Now, before we go ahead and build something, you need to know how things work, right? So very first thing, we have built-in widgets in Flutter, right? But the thing is, you cannot build some good stuff, or some custom things if that particular things is not provided by the widgets, right? Widgets are the APIs which is written and then we can use directly according to our needs. And if you want to build something, you are having some imagination, and that is not existing into widgets, or even if after combining multiple widgets you cannot build that, then custom painter is for you, right? What you need to do is you need to convert your ideas and you need to draw that on the screen. So custom painter is nothing but just a plain canvas where you will draw your stuff right away over there, right? So behind the scene, what happens when you use Cupertino widget or material widget or a normal widget? Behind the curtains or behind the scenes, they actually draw that thing on the canvas, right? So the thing is, they also do the same stuff. If you'll just go ahead and take a look in the code of Flutter repository, you will see they have actually written a code which will draw things on the canvas. So if you use one button, that button is being drawn on the canvas, right? So whenever you want to draw something, the canvas is there for you. You can just go ahead and draw some cool stuff over there. So this is what we are going to learn today, right? So when it comes to a canvas, you need to work with kind of mathematics, right? But yeah, if you have a basic understanding of when you need to use sine, when you need to use cos, and when you need to use pi values, then it is going to be easy for you, right? So today, that is what we are going to take a look, where you're going to use what, right? This is kind of first stream, so I don't want to go and deep dive inside mathematics, but yeah, we will be using basic mathematics to make this thing work, because on this screen what we are having is about dimensions of the screen, right? So there we just need to do some additions and multiplications and all those stuff. So yeah, let's get started. So very first thing, this is the code which we will be building today, but I will just go ahead and get rid of everything, right? I hope I will do all the best to me. Okay, so if I just go ahead and run this, I'm gonna get error, right? And that is what we will get every time. So I need to restart my app. So it will be complaining you don't have a main method to go ahead and run your app. So very first thing, if you want to run your app in Flutter, you need a void main method. So we will make a void main, right? Now, inside void main, we have a method called run app, which will actually run your app. So I will implement run app, right? Now, what I'm gonna have is inside run app, if you will just take a look on, if I put my cursor and it says that run app isn't defined. Now, this functions comes from the widgets, right? So right now we will be using a library called material so that we can get an access to run app method. So what I will do, I will just go ahead and import material. Sorry, I need import material. So this package gives an access on run app. So you can see we don't have error anymore, but it says that it accepts a widget, right? And that widget is nothing but our app, and that is going to be our class. So let's call that class as, we make it as a stateless widget first. So we're gonna have stateless widget, and we call that widget as home page. And I'm gonna make a home page call from my run app. So whenever I build something, that class will get called, and some things get rendered on the screen, right? So I'm gonna use home page, right? If I just go ahead and save it and rerun my app, I should get rid of that error. Okay, there is some more error. Let me just go ahead and check it out. Okay, okay. So the thing is, let me just restart from the beginning so that we get to know what exactly happening with our app. This should run actually, but I am not able to understand this error, what it is exactly. So let's wait till it run. So today we are going to work a little bit with the math to make that Pac-Man animation. But yeah, it's not so much that you're going to get hammered with mathematics. It's not going to be like that. But little bit of maths, you need to understand what is radians, what is radius, right? Because you're going to work with kind of circle over there to make a Pac-Man face. So Pac-Man face is nothing but, you know, a kind of circle, and then you reduce some angles and it open its mouth and all those things. So yeah, let's see what we have. It is building, and you can see we don't have an error. So sometimes it happens, you need to rerun your app because you are writing a code from the scratch. So now you have a blank screen that is nothing but a container, right? Now your first thing what you need is a material app. So we will just go ahead and use material app. material app accept one class, and that is going to be a home. So I'm going to create a class called that is going to be a stateful widget, because stateful widget is necessary. The reason behind that is because we are going to animate something, right? The Pac-Man mouth, the Pac-Man mouth is going to get animated. So for that reason, we need to make a stateful widget so that, you know, it can changes the state, it can recall the build method again and again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a stateful widget, STFL, yeah, and I'm going to call this class as Pac-Man. Yeah, I'm gonna call this from my material app, and that is going to be our home, and that is going to be our Pac-Man. Now if I just save this, I'm not going to get anything, but the one thing I got is a label which is saying that your app is running into a debug mode. Of course you are running it in a debug mode. Now I'm going to get rid of this container, and I'm going to have a scaffold, right? As soon as I put my scaffold on the screen, I'll get a blank screen so that I can have everything. Now I'm going to have a one body, right? Inside this body, I'm going to have a container, and this container is going to be of some height and width. So the height is going to be 90.0 and width is going to be 90.0, right? And let's give a color to this container so that we will get to know where that container is exactly getting drawn. So let's give a colors, and colors dot black, right? Yeah, so you can see we have a container, black container on the top of the screen. Now what we're going to do is we are going to actually draw a Pac-Man on that container, right? So now when you want to draw something, you need a canvas, right? Now the canvas, to get an access to an canvas, we need to use one widget called custom paint, and that widget allows you to have a custom painter class accessed to that widget, right? So what I'm going to do is the container of this, the child of this container, right, is going to be our custom paint widget. So I will pass child and I will use custom paint, right? Now this method, or this class, I'm sorry, this class allows you to have child, foreground painter, and painter. Now I want to paint something on that widget, right? So what I will do, I will use painter, right? And this painter, if you will put a cursor over here, it accepts a widget that is going to be of type custom painter. So you can see over here, right over here, that is a custom painter. So I'm going to create one class, right? That is actually going to return a Pac-Man to us, and that is nothing but a custom painter class, right? So I will use a class over here, and I'll call that class as Pac-Man painter, right? Now, right over here, after this class, the Pac-Man class, right? I will create one more class, and that is going to extend a custom painter, right? So I'm going to create a class called Pac-Man painter, and that is going to extend the custom painter. Now as soon as you make a class called custom painter, extends a class called custom painter, you need to override two methods, that is paint method and should repaint method. Now why we need to override these two methods is because the thing over here is whenever you want to paint something, this method gets called, right? It paints it for very first time. After that, if you are giving some animations to your painter, right, at that specific time, what you need to do is you need to tell this class that you should repaint every time, right? So what happened, this should repaint should always return true, but not in every case. When you want to, if you have a huge custom painter going on or huge animations going on onto your screen, you need to even take care for your performance, right? At that particular time, the performance is checked in should repaint. You should not repaint everything, right? You need to only repaint the things which is getting animated, right? So at that specific time, you need to take care of your performance, and you need to take care those things into should repaint method. But for now, We are going to just return true always so that we can animate our Pac-Man. So return true, right? Now, we need to paint something. For that, we need a painter, right? So what I will do, I will create one uh, paint variable, right? And that paint variable I'm going to call as an Pac-Man. Now, this is the paint which is going to be our Pac-Man, right? So what happened over here? I'm going to use Pac-Man. Sorry. So Pac-Man is going to have some colors, right? So we need that. This is the actual painter which will paint on the canvas. So you're going to give the colors and the styles over here, how your Pac-Man is going to look like. So that is the reason we need to use paint. So the paint comes in over here, and we will use a paint class, right? And in this class, the first thing, my Pac-Man is going to look like in yellow color, right? So what I will do, I will give a color that is going to be a colors dot yellow, right? Now, I need to even take care how my Pac-Man is going to be look like. So for now, what we're going to do is we are going to make our Pac-Man not fill, but just a stroke. So you will get to know once it is paint on the screen, or rather than just writing a code, you should see what exactly happening with our paint. So what I'm going to do is, okay, this is actually used over here, so we are going good. Okay, let me just go ahead and do Control Z. Now, this painter is having a yellow color, and I need my painter to look like the style, a painting style should be stroke. So that will just create the, what's that method called? Painting style, or just a style? Yeah, it is style, and then we have a painting style class. Yes, painting style dot, instead of fill, we are going to use stroke, right? Now, what I will do now, I will draw an arc so that I will have a complete semicircle, right? So before we do that, you need to understand how you're going to draw an arc, right? Now, you need to draw an arc on the black container, which is right over here, right? So what we need to do is, let me just go ahead and take a chat. How do you get color palette to show like different shades of yellow? Okay, so if you will just go ahead and put your cursor right on the yellow, you get all the shades over here. So this only works in the Visual Studio. There's a different way in Android Studio. I'm not more familiar with the Android Studio, but I work with Visual Studio. So this is how I just take a look on. If you put your cursors right over there, you will get the access to the all different color palettes, right? And that is similar for all the things. I'm not familiar with the Android Studio, so I'm really sorry. Okay, so let's get back to the work. Okay, so we have a paint ready. Now what we need to do is we need to understand a little bit of maths over here, right? How you can draw the arc. I have made one video on that, and you can just go ahead and check it out. But today we are going to have some different math over here, and we will see how we can use that. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna just a minute. I'm gonna use my Chrome, and I'm going to open sketch.io so that we can actually paint something. And okay, it's right over here. So let me just go ahead and get a new one, a blank create. Okay, so this is our screen, right? And right over here we have a container which is right over here, right? Now in this container we need to draw something, right? Now what we want to do is we want to create an arc. Now arc is nothing but it is going to be an angle, right? So arc is drawn using angles, right? So what we need to do is we need to draw an arc. So we are going to use a canvas for that, right? So over here, a canvas dot draw arc. Now we have to give so many, like kind of 5 parameters to be passed into draw an arc. So we need to understand all 5 parameters, right? So first is rect. Now what is rect? I'll come to that. Start angle, sweep angle, use center, and paint. Now let's go ahead and take a look what is paint. Now as I said, we need to have some paint that is going to be our style, right? So this style we are going to pass over here. So paint is going to be nothing but our paint class, which is going to be of color, of a type of color yellow, and a stroke. So I'm going to pass my Pac-Man right over here, right? Now let's come to the rect. What is rect? Now you want to draw an arc, right? Using arc you can draw circles as well, or you can just draw a small curved line, okay? But the thing is how behind the scene they draw the arc, right? So what we are going to do is we need to have one center point, right, which will be not shown on the screen, but behind the scene it is being drawn like that. So we need one center point, right? And in our case we need a center point in our center of our container, right? So the how we get the center, so this is our x-axis, right, and this is our y-axis, right? So now in this case what happened, if I on this container, right, if I divide my x-axis, it comes in the center, right? If I divide the width of this container is 90, so if I divide by my 90 width in half, so I'm going to come somewhere over here, right? So we have our x-axis middle point over here, but y-axis is somewhere over here, right? I want to bring my y-axis also in center, so I will make an half of that as well, right? Somewhere over here. So this will bring my point into a center, right? So that is what we are going to do it now. Now, what we need to do is exactly, we need to work with the offset. So this is the offset, x-axis and y-axis. So in Flutter, we call it as an offset, that x-axis and y-axis. We have a class for that, so we call it as an offset class. Now, we need to have a center. How do we get center? We just take, we just saw that if we multiply, if we divide our height and width half, we get a center point. So what I will do, I will just go ahead and have my center. So I will create one variable of type offset, right? So offset provides you x-axis and y-axis. So I'm going to call this as center, right? And right over here, what we need to do is I need to have an offset. Now this offset gives me, you can see the double of dx. Dx is nothing but the x-axis, and dy, that is y-axis, right? So now my x-axis, that is going to be a width, right? So I'm going to divide my size dot width by 2, right? And in the same way, I'm going to divide my size dot height divide by 2. Now what happened exactly over here? I will get my center point. Now using this center, right over here, using this center, I will draw an arc, right? Right now my pointer is over here. Now from this pointer, I'm going to draw an arc. Now to draw an arc, we need a rectangle, right? So behind the scene, what we did is we are going to draw a rectangle of same container what we have on the screen, that is our black. So we are going to draw the rectangle of same size so that we can draw an arc inside of that, right? Okay, so I'm not familiar with that, that's why. All this comes in animations. Animation, I didn't got exact, like I didn't got your point exactly. Okay, so let's come to this. Okay, what we're going to do is we are going to create one rectangle of same size of our container. Okay. Okay, first thing what we need is we need a rectangle, right? So we are going to use rect class. Now this rect class gives an many methods, that is from center, from circle, from left top right bottom, from left top width height, right? So you have many methods, But right now what we're going to do is we got a center point, so we are going to use from center method, right? So from center method, what it is exactly, right? Now, if you will just put your cursor on from center, you will get to know what exactly it accepts. So it accepts the center, right? And the center we got, this is our center, that is right over here. If you will see, right, this one, right? So now what we need to do is we need to have a center that is, oops, that is going to be, okay, this is name parameters, so we need to use name first and then our variable, right? We got the center. What another thing it accepts is the width and the height. Now, as I said, we need a rectangle of our same size of container, right? So we are going to use size dot height. So first is a width and second one is size dot height. Oops. Size dot height. So now passing this much, again it's a name parameter, so I missed that. So it's going to be width, right? The first one is going to be width and second one is going to be an height, right? Now I'll just format my document, but I'll be not able to do that because we don't have start angle and sweep angle. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to use our center as true, right? I'll come to that why we need to use center, true and false. Okay. Now, what is our start angle and what is our sweep angle, right? You need to understand that what is our start angle and what is our sweep angle. Now, right now what happened over here is behind the curtains, we have a rectangle of same height and width of this black color container, right? Now I need my starting angle, right? So the starting angle is nothing but from which angle my arc should start from, right? Now, in this case, if you will just take a look in Flutter, it doesn't accept things as an angle when it comes to an arc, or I guess everywhere. It doesn't accept things as an exact angle, but it accepts things as in radians, right? So what exactly the radians is, for example, you have a line over here, right? This is the line, right? Now, using center, what we need to do is, this is our center, right? Now, using this center, we need to draw an arc which will connect this dot with this dot, right? So what I will do, I will use this center, I will put my pointer over here and it will draw something like this, right? So now what happened right over here is, using this center, it connects these two lines, right? These two dots, right? Now the distance which is used to cover these two dots is called as in radians. So this is the radians, right? So we need to pass this line, this distance, right? So now if we'll just take a look over here, this make an exact 180 of angle, right? So we need to use an angle of 180. So we need to know what is exact number in radians of 180 degree. So we have a simple way to do that. Just go ahead and Google it, angle to radians, right? If you will just go ahead and search it, or you can just use the right away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that makes an 180 degree of angle. So you can see this is 180 exactly by connecting two dots, and that is what we need to do. So what I will do, I will just check the 180 degree make a radians of 3.14, right? Now 3.14 is nothing but the pi value, right? So we need to use a math library to use a pi value, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a math library from our Flutter, from our Dart package. So I'm going to use import Dart math, and I'm going to give name as math, right? Now, I will use my 3.14 radians, right? Right over here, that is 180, right? So what I will do, math dot pi. So pi value is 3.14. In the same way, I'm going to make a sweep angle of 180 degree. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make math dot pi. As soon as I do this, just take a look on the container what happens. We have an exact arc. I guess it should be visible, right? Let me just increase the stroke. So I will use width, stroke width to, how about 3.0, 3.0, right? This gives me a correct, exact stroke of 180 degree, right? Now, using the center, we draw an angle that completes 180 degree, right? I don't want to make it complete as 180 degree. I want to make it as an 90 degree, right? So what I will do, I will just go ahead and search because I'm so bad at maths. So I will always check the value of uh, 90, right? The radians of 90. So that is 1.5, right? So 1.5 plus 1.5 is kind of 3, right? And some points will add, so we will get, if we divide our pi value, right? So that is the half of our 180. It gives you exact a right angle. Okay, so can you see that we got an exact right angle arc? Let me put this into a center so that it is quite good to work on. Yeah, we are, I don't have you know, a mathematics background. I come from a commerce, so I'm totally bad at math. So what I need to do is I need to bring in the center. So I will use my container to come in center. Okay, so we are in the center, and you can see we used a half of our uh, complete angle. So it is completing our angle at 90 degree, right? So you can see we have an exact 90 degree right over here. Now, right now, what happened is, let's try to make a Pac-Man first, right? So you need to understand these two methods, what is start angle and what is sweep angle. So sweep angle is nothing but from where your arc will start and end. So that is going to make an angle over there, right? So that is what exactly a sweep angle is, that connects two lines, right? Now, right now we don't need to complete at 90 degree, we need to complete at 180 degree. So I'm going to just go ahead and use 180 degree. So we have something like this. Now let me just go ahead and draw the same arc, right? But I need that same arc downwards so that I can make a complete Pac-Man with a closed mouth, right? So I will just paste it over here. So we have two canvas. I will just format this document. So now you can see we have a two canvas, right? If I just save this draw the arc on the same position, so we cannot see, it is overlapping each other. Now, in x-axis and y-axis, if we use negative values, right, it make it in the opposite direction. So I will use negative values inside our sweep angle and starting angle, so that it bring it to the opposite side, right, to the downwards, right? So we have a complete circle. Let us just get rid from these lines and let's fill that. So instead of having a stroke, what we're going to do is we are going to use fill method, right? So this will fill my whole circle, right? So now you can see even behind the curtains, can you see that black drawn angle? I mean a rectangle. See, it touches all the four side edges, and this is how the arcs are drawn, right? Now let me just get rid of that black color so that we have a good Pac-Man, and let us just give a scaffold as a color black. So background colors dot black. Cool. So now we have a kind of complete Pac-Man, right, with a closed mouth. Now, as you know that to open a mouth, what we need to do is we need to have an angle between somewhere around 90 and 80, but 90 makes so much wide open mouth. We don't want to do that. So somewhere around 130 to 80, right? 130 to 180, we need an sweep angle to get complete. So what if I make my sweep angle, that is this one, right? If I divide my sweep angle to 2, then it is going to give me a 90 degree completion, right? So you can see a 90 degree completion, right? But I don't want to, I need a value which is less than 2, right? If I divide my pi value with 1, then I'm going to get 3.14, but I need a value between 1.0 to 2.0, right? So let us just go ahead and use 1.5. So now you can see we have kind of open mouth, and if we use a same formula right over here to 1.5, right, we have an open mouth from both the angle, and that is quite of so much of wide. Now according to your version, you can modify this number. I'm going to use 1.2 and see what I have, right? So now you can see this is good enough to open the mouth, right? Now you need to animate this, right? So now you know you need a number from 1.0 to 1.2, right? So what I will do, I will just go ahead and create one variable right over here, and I will call that I'll call that, what should I call that variable, as open angle. So I will call that variable as open angle. So now I'll give my open angle as 1.2 for now, and I will use that open angle everywhere so that we can change this number directly, and then we can easily animate our Pac-Man, right? So now this open angle is right over here. If I change my open angle to 1.0, the mouth is closed. If I change 1.2, the mouth is open. Now we need to make an animation from 1.0 to 1.2. Now in Flutter, there is a simple thing. We need to use animation, an animation controller, a twin animation, to have a number from 1.0 to 1.2, right? So let's go ahead and create an animation for that. Okay, so this is our stateful class, right? The Pac-Man state class. In that we are going to create an animation. So very first thing, if you want to have an access to your animation, first thing is you need to have a provider, a single ticket provider, right? And so I'm going to use with single ticket provider state mixin. So this is the mixin which allows you to have an access on vsync, right? Now first thing what I need is an animation controller. So this gives me a control to my animation. I can control my animation anyhow with this. So we are just declaring right now, and I want an animation which this animation is going to generate from 1.0 to 1.2. So I'm going to have an animation. Right. Now I'm going to use my init method. Okay. So void, let's just use IntelliSense init state. Right. Now I'm going to initialize my controller and animation right over here. So now what we need is we need a controller, right, which is going to be an animation controller, and this accept vsync, that is going to come from our current object, I mean the current instance, that is going to be a single ticket provider, and we call current object as in this, right? Now we need this controller to complete our animation in what amount of duration, right? So we are going to pass duration over here, and the duration is going to be around in milliseconds. How about 500, right? So this completes our animation in 500 milliseconds, and we need to generate a number from 1.0 to 1.2 in that milliseconds, right? So I will use my animations right over here. What I'm going to do is it would be great if I use twin animation. Yeah. So twin is nothing but twinning is nothing but changing some value from one to another in some specific amount of time, right? So right now what we're going to do is we are going to start our value from 1.0, right? And we need to end our value on 1.2, right? So this is what called a twinning is, and it accepts who is going to twin this value, right? So it is going to animate something, right? And we need to have a parent who is going to animate it, then our controller is going to animate, right? So we pass in the controller over here, right? So our animation is ready over here. To call this init state and initialize, what we need to do is we need to rebuild our app. So I will just rebuild. Okay. Now, if you will just go ahead and take a look on, I'll just go ahead and forward this animation dot forward. Okay, you need to use controller for that, sorry. Controller dot forward, right? So this will start my animation as soon as it call my init state. Now, this will gradually increase my number from 1.0 to 1.2, right? So I need to pass this number from here, right? From this class to my canvas, right? To my custom painter. So how do I do that? Now, I will just get rid of this part because I need to accept. So I will use a constructor to accept numbers from one class to another. So the constructor is going to be a kind of Pac-Man painter, and I prefer to have a named parameters than a positional parameter. So I'm going to use this dot open angle, right? Now, what we need to do is we need to pass this value from our animation, right? Animation will give you a value from 1.0 to 1.2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a value that is going to be the name as open angle, and open angle value is going to be an animation dot value. So what happened is this will give a new value every time from 1.0 to 1.2, right? And this will be accepted over here, right over here, and then it passes over here and it animates our mouth. But still it will not animate our mouth, is because you can see the very first number is 1.0 and our animation is forwarded, but still it is not animating. Okay, so the reason is our build method is not getting built every time, right? So we have something called animated builder, right, which will rebuild your build method every time when something changes or something happens to the listener. So somewhere behind the screen they have something called listener, right? And that listener will build this method, they call this build method again and again, and that will rebuild our widget tree so that we will see the animations and changing values. So right now behind the curtains the values are getting changed, but our build method is not getting rebuild. So if I'll just attach an listener to my controller so that you guys can understand in a better way. So I'm going to use my controller dot add listener, and if I print my value over here, I will print my value of animation dot value, and if I rebuild my app, you will see we have values which is being generated from 1.0, you can see 1.0 to 1.2, right? So it is actually changing the values, but because of because we don't have anything which is going to rebuild, so we need to implement that. So what I will do, I will remove this center, I will just grab it, and I will use animated builder over here, right? And it accepts as an animation, say hi to the dog. We have animation that is going to be our controller, because controller have something called listener implemented, so that will rebuild our method. So controller, right, and builder is going to nothing but our context and widget, right? So we need to pass in our, okay, so right over here now we have Are we missing something? Okay, let me just do Control Z. I guess we did any mistake while copy and pasting. Okay, we need to have animated builder, and that is going to be a controller. Okay, that is going to be a controller. And right over here, why do we get this error? Okay, this is extra. Cool. Now, what we need to do is we need to implement the builder. That is going to be our build context as in context and our widget. Now, we will return the same thing, our old widget tree, that is center, right? So right over here, you can see we have one less bracket, I guess, implemented. Yeah. So now right over here, you can see we have animated builder, and that is returning something. Let me reformat my code. Okay. Now I will just save it, and you can see now we have our, can you see it just opened the mouth, right? Now we need to have this keep happening every time, right? So what I'm going to do is this is just having a forward, right? And I will just get rid of this listener. This is just a forward, right? I want to repeat this again and again, right? So what I will do, instead of forward, I will use repeat, right? So what will happen if I'll just rebuild my app? You can see it just opened the mouth and then gradually close it, right? But this, so now what exactly it is doing is it goes to it goes from 1.0 to 1.2 and then again start from 1.0. We don't want that to be happen. What we need to do is, if it goes from 1.0 to 1.2, then it should again start from 1.2 and comes to 1.0, right? That is where a reverse thing comes in. We need to reverse it. Right now it is opening the mouth, but it's not that great, right? Because it is starting from 1.0 to 1.2 and then again starts from 1.0, and that should not happen. So we need to make this repeat, and we need to use a reverse as true. So now what will happen along with this, it goes to 1.2 and then again it starts from 1.2 and then comes to the 1.0. So now if I rebuild my app, can you see now it is just opening and closing, opening and closing, opening and closing, and this looks quite better. Okay, hi, this is my first stream. I may be like kind of so much weird over here, but I don't know. I hope you understand what's happening on the screen. So now we have built a good looking Pac-Man, right? Now you can have your own version on this, and you can build this quite great, right? And it's looking good. Now, can we do one thing on this is we can make our Pac-Man move on screen, right? So for that, you need to understand one thing is we started our Pac-Man from center, right? So right now our center is from where exactly? Okay, I missed one part over here is why we use center, right? So right over here, when we were drawing our arc, we used our center as true, right? So can you see from where exactly our Pac-Man is opening mouth is from center, right? From center exactly it is opening the mouth, right? So if I just go ahead and make this center false, what happens? Just take a look. Right over here, I make it false. I'll just save it. Can you see? It will not use a center point, but it will use a starting point to open and close his mouth. Now, this is kind of a Pac-Man, of course, but with a wider mouth. You can have your own version, and yeah, you can build it. But I guess the Pac-Man open mouth from the center, and this doesn't look good. I need to change it to the center. Cool. Now, what you need to know is right now we have our um, height, right, and width, which is of 90.0 and 90.0, and we are using a center of it, so our Pac-Man is center. mm, it, till now I have not gone through the chat, and let me just go ahead and take a look what's going on the chat. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or something like that, or if you didn't understood, or if you want to modify something, we can go ahead and do that. um, but before ending this stream, I want to actually have I want to make this Pac-Man to move on the screen actually. But I don't think so. It may take more time. It's been almost 1 hour from now we started streaming. Okay, so I took 1 hour to build this. This is bad. Okay, can we go ahead and make a Pac-Man move? Okay, thanks Rakshit. Keep supporting. Okay, we can have feedback from everyone before I end this stream, or the planning for now from now is maybe every Saturday and Sunday I try my level best to do some live sessions. Okay, and what we need to do is tomorrow I guess we are going to come with a Hive. If you don't know what is Hive, then it is a kind of a local storage database. Instead of SQLite, we are going to use Hive, and it is being so much popular nowadays. So we are going to go ahead and implement Hive tomorrow, right? So I will go ahead and schedule this stream so that you can just set a reminder and come back tomorrow and start watching and start implementing what is Hive. So can we have a good feedback from you guys? Like, not good feedback, you guys can give feedback so that I can improve on every session. And I hope my sound is clear. Do I need to improve something in my setup? I will be not able to do that immediately. I mean, I'll be not able to do that from tomorrow, but yeah, by every stream I can go ahead and start changing something so that it looks a bit professional. The setup is not so professional. It's been like kind of so much of lights on my face, and it's more hot because of light, and so much of noise because of fan and everything. So yeah, I'll try to make this stream more better and looks professional. If I have good support from you guys, and if you guys, if you're really liking the content what I'm doing over here, go ahead and join the Discord, right? I just forgot to tell you that sound is very low. If I increase my sound, let me just go ahead and try that. Let me know how it is now. If I increase my sound, right, then what happened is you may hear more background noise. Okay. Thanks. So it's your okay. Now we have something called I created a server on Discord, right? Thanks a lot. I made a server called Training Codes, right? You guys can go ahead and join the channel over here called Flutter Gossip, right? So you can post it, your questions, or you can just have some talks over there, or if you have any questions over there, you can just go ahead and join that Discord server, and you can connect with different peoples. Of course, I'll be a part of that. You can post your questions over there. We can work on it, and we can have some good gossips going on over there. So we have something called Flutter Gossip channel. You can go ahead and join that channel. You will find link in the description. You can just go ahead and check it out, right? And you can join it, and we can discuss something over there. And I hope you like this animation. And of course, I will try to build this the more advanced version, the actual game actually, we will try to come up. I'll try my level best on every Sunday to implement a Pac-Man. So on next stream, what we can do is we can make our Pac-Man move from one place to another, right? And Pac-Man can actually eat the food, right? And then I hope we can convert this stream to a game. I don't know how it's going to go, but yeah, thank God today there was no interruption for power and all, and everything went well. But I don't have a power backup, so sometime or someday it may happen that I'll go from stream from in between, and then I'll join again. I don't know what happened exactly, but yeah. So I hope you liked what's happening on the screen and you understood what we did and how custom painter work and why math is necessary. So yeah, I guess that's all from this stream, kind of 1 hour stream. And if you like this content, go ahead and hit the like button. If you are new on this, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and join the Discord. We call it as an TC Army. Go ahead and join that Discord, and we can communicate over there. So thanks a lot for joining. I enjoyed coding live, and I enjoyed to interact with you guys, and we will keep doing this every weekend. Tomorrow we are coming up with Hive database so that we can store or persist data offline, right? And we can have an understanding what Hive is. Okay, so I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to go ahead and hit the like button, and make sure to give your feedback in the comment as well, right? So I can make this stream better, I can make my explanation better, and we can be great developers. So yeah, all the best from my side. Be a great developers. Bye bye, keep coding, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm ending this. Bye bye.